For the past 12 or so years, I've been doing work for the Robert Wood Johnson Foundation. They had funded a large-scale initiative in 5 distressed cities like Baltimore and Detroit. And they were interested in seeing whether they could improve the health and safety of children in those cities. And I had the job of doing the research and particularly the evaluation associated with that project. And my job has been to evaluate that effort, to try to see what changed as a result of this effort. We're finishing that up now. We're doing our final analyses, and we seem to be finding that there have been small but measurable improvements in the health and safety of children in those cities as a result of this effort, mostly on the areas that they put their greatest attention. The Robert Wood Johnson Foundation's Urban Health Initiative had very lofty goals. It was innovative, it was exciting, it was trying to do some very big things. It was trying to improve health and safety outcomes overall for all the kids citywide and in a range of areas. So we're talking about issues around violence, we're talking about issues around traditional health needs, and so on. It's difficult to move so many things at one time, even with resources and even with time. So instead, what seems to have happened is the sites that were participating in this initiative focused on a few things that they thought would bring about long-term measurable change. They looked at things like after school. What were kids doing with their time in between the school day and when they were home with their parents? They put their energy into those areas, and in putting their energy into those areas, we can compare these cities to other similar distressed cities and find that at the end of 10 years, the participating cities look a little bit better off. Parents have more satisfaction with the quality after school in those cities. We seem to be seeing a reduction in some stressful things like homicide among youth in these cities. But I should say the news isn't all good. It's not that things have suddenly gotten dramatically better in these cities, but they haven't declined as much as in other distressed cities during the same time period. For me, one of the shocking parts of this work was the recognition that cities could actually die in America. As I was doing this work and coming to understand what it means to lose half your population, to see what that looks like on the ground, I heard that Buffalo was one of the 10 largest cities in America at the turn of the last century. And I realized a city like Detroit could go the same way as Buffalo and just keep declining and declining. They might just disappear, and maybe there are many people who don't think that matters very much. But there are cultural institutions in these cities, there's history in these cities, and there are people in these cities. And as much as these cities are in decline, there are still millions of Americans living within them. And I think that we need to recognize that as we sort of abandon them or don't think about them very much in policy, it'll have repercussions for our country for many, many years to come.